Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello, it is FF episode 2386,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The last podcast was not the best. It was hard to get back into the saddle again. And I must confess, I had a lot going on. So just to even get a podcast out there that shows that yours is... Your will can be strong when you do these things.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I must do a podcast. And then, try and do one daily, because that's the name of the
Mike's
program.
Daily.
It's got that little
Podcast
adjective in there.
Yeah!
Telling me that I have to do this daily. But hey, life is interesting. And with a podcast that yours truly, Mike Matthews, tries to throw something out there that's not the same stuff you're hearing from everybody else. I don't use foul language, so I'm pretty family friendly. I am trying to help you with your life and the things going on in it. I am not a registered psychologist or therapist or nutritionist or violinist or panelist or pundit. I am just Mike. But I do have some interesting things that I notice from time to time. Like when you're in Florida and you eat a lot of fish, you start getting really sick of it and go, wow, there is a lot of fish here in Florida, and they have this wonderful dish called shrimp and grits, and it was so well done, and they put like a ton of cream and butter in the grits, and the shrimp was amazing, and there was gravy on it. It was fantastic. So the last podcast, if you didn't listen to it, I would go back and listen to FF episode 2385, the last one.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I talked about why I was in Florida, and the podcast picture is from Florida. A beautiful area, the Dunlawton Sugar Mill Gardens, which I had never seen. And my lovely lady friend, we had a bunch of errands to do, as I mentioned in the last podcast, as to why. There was lots of work we had to do, and she helped me out oh so much. She is my angel, really is. And we did so much, and I said, you know what, let's do something since we're over here. I think there's something over here we can check out that has to do with Florida. So we did. We went to there. And the late, great Basil the Boxer, he never got to go to Florida. It would have been quite a long trip and then really no payoff because they don't let dogs on the beach. Although we did see a dog on the beach. That's right. A little puppy, like a mastiff puppy. But he really wasn't supposed to be there. Oh, I missed the beach! I wish I was there now. And it really stunk because the last day I had so much to do and I could not go to the beach. And it's just so... that bugs me. If we only had more time. Time gets away from us all. But Mike Matthews here. I wanted to say, first off, try not to be a gossip. Try not to be, you know what I think's happening? Do you know what I think's going on? Do you know it? Do you know? I'm really getting sick of it. I'm in a position in my work where, let's just say, okay, in the radio industry as a whole, you have a lot of gossipers. A lot of people, it's in their, they just love it. They're, oh, do you know what I heard? And a lot of times what they're saying is completely false, and it just gets people riled up, and I don't like it. It's one thing I don't like about radio. Here's something I do like about radio. I have a plug and a slug. Radio is basically the reason why there are podcasts. People said, I'm going to sit down in front of a microphone. Well, radio DJs have been doing that since the dawn of radio. And podcasting is a fantastic way, and I've since the beginning of podcasting for me, which was in late 2008, I was like, hey, this is fantastic. Because at this point, in 2008, the only voices you heard on the radio were like the Howard Sterns, the Rush Limbaughs, the Don Imuses. I'm like, what does the average person down the street want to talk about? And that could be interesting. And how about this other? And now it's just open wide up. It's huge. Now, does the average person who podcasts have that many listeners? Is everybody a Joe Rogan? No. But I know somebody, I talked to someone today who's going to launch his podcast sometime this week. And I'm looking forward to hearing what he does. But that's good. I'm all for creativity. I'm all for... Look, I know I have said in the past that I cannot stand going to movie theaters. I cannot stand watching movies for the most part. And then right after I said that, I suddenly saw some fantastic movies. What was that one that, well, it was on Netflix, and it was about a real life. I think I really like the real life ones that have to do with people that you may not have known that they were basically, they faded away in history. But they're fascinating people, and someone who can make a movie out of that and be cinematography-wise, be cinematically beautiful. I'm all for that, and I find that fascinating, but I just get so down with all the remakes and the Marvel stuff that they've beaten that completely to a pulp. There's nothing left of it. Now we're in a multiverse world, and that Doctor Strange is going to be some mega crazy word verse and all these other verses, and it's not the Bible, it's just the multiverse and all these other things, and I'm just too much. But there's some good stuff out there, and not all of it is meant to be horrifically violent. Good movies about people. I mean, some, that's the thing, is the violence sells, as we know, and all the other stuff that sells. What about some good human interest stories? But back to what I was talking about on the last podcast. Towards the end of the podcast, I was describing to you what happened 2 weeks ago tomorrow. Now, 2 weeks ago tomorrow would be Valentine's Day, just to clarify. And that was the worst day for me in a long time. Horrible day. And I basically had, on that Monday and the Sunday before, a panic attack. And I had not experienced that in quite a while. But as we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Podcastro Valley 10, the last place on earth, is where we are today. Cafe anyway. How can you regain control and calm and a panic attack? Well, during a panic attack, it can help to remember that these feelings will pass. And that's what I did. I kept saying, this is going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Even though you don't really believe it, but you just got to keep saying it. These feelings they're feelings, and they will pass, and they will cause no physical harm, however scary it feels at the time. Try acknowledging that this is a brief period of concentrated anxiety, and it will be over soon. Panic attacks tend to reach their most intense point within 10 minutes of their onset, and then the symptoms will begin to subside. This according to medicalnewstoday.com. Deep breathing can help bring a panic attack under control. Panic attacks can cause rapid breathing and chest tightness. It can make your breath shallow. This type of breathing can make feelings of anxiety and tension worse. Instead, try to breathe slowly and deeply, concentrating on each breath. Breathe deeply from the abdomen, filling the lungs slowly and steadily while counting to 4 on both the inhale and the exhale. There's also something called 4-7-8 breathing, or relaxing breath. With this technique, the person breathes in for 4 seconds, holds the breath for 7 seconds, then exhales slowly for 8 seconds. 4-7-8. Now, it is worth noting that for some people, deep breathing can make the panic attack worse. In these cases, the people can try focusing on doing something they enjoy instead. This is so interesting that they point this out on medical news today. Music news today. Here's some music news. Yours truly watched a bunch of music videos last night. I was going down the rabbit hole on YouTube, watching music videos from Patti Smythe. Do you remember her? Shooting at the walls of heartache, bang, bang, I am the warrior. That's Patti Smythe. She also sang that song. You know that sometimes love just ain't enough. I don't want to hurt you, but I'll not desert you. Baby, I just want to have it all. It makes us feel like thunder. It makes it feel like rain. Ba-da-na-na-na-na. That lady, she, if you look her up on YouTube, she sang Take Another Little Piece of My Heart, the Janis Joplin song, on David Letterman circa 1990, 91, somewhere in there. And oh my gosh, she's amazing. So I was watching her, and then she collaborated sometimes with a band called The Hooters. They had that song, And We Danced Like a Wave on the Ocean Romance. And I was watching a bunch of their videos. Also watching a bunch of Hall & Oates. Yeah, you know, their career is very long, goes back to the 70s. And you know, nobody really remembers what John Oates sounded like. They always know what Daryl Hall was, but John had this soulful, beautiful voice. I was just checking that all out last night. Daryl Hall, as far as I know, still has his restaurant. I think somewhere near Philly. Where was that? Oh, and then speaking of Philly, there was Live Aid. I watched the Money for Nothing song by Dire Straits, and they actually had Sting singing with them, because, you know, Sting sings the I Want My MTV, and it was just so fun watching that from 1986. I think they performed at Wembley, but that was Live Aid was at Wembley and at Philadelphia, I think it was. Okay, so back to when the late great Basil the Boxer passed. I was really trying to sleep. I was just so full of anxiety and sad and sorrow and just grief, you know, just not feeling good at all, sick to my stomach. And I needed sleep because I couldn't sleep all night, just filled with sadness. So my lovely lady friend suggested putting on this eye mask to block out the sunlight. And it had in it lavender. And the smell of lavender calmed me down so much. I didn't realize the power it has. But a soothing scent can help relieve anxiety by tapping into the senses, helping the person stay grounded and giving them something to focus on. Lavender is a common traditional remedy known for bringing about a sense of calm relaxation. Many studies report that lavender can help relieve anxiety. You can try holding the oil under the nose and inhaling gently, or dabbing a little onto a handkerchief to smell. The oil is widely available online, but buy it from trusted retailers. If you don't like the smell of lavender, you could try replacing it with another essential oil, such as bergamot, orange, chamomile, or lemon. But here in California, we got a lot of lavender plants, and you could just actually grab the blooms, and it smells really good. Find a peaceful spot. Sights and sounds can often intensify a panic attack. Find a more peaceful spot. Leave a busy room. Sit in a quiet place to create some mental space. It will make it easier to focus on breathing and other coping strategies. You can also focus on an object. Concentrating on something physical in the environment can help you feel grounded. Focusing on one stimulus can reduce other stimuli. As the person looks at the item, they may want to think about how it feels, who made it, what the shape is. The technique can help reduce the symptoms of a panic attack. Oh, by the way, I heard an interesting saying yesterday. I don't know who the originator of the saying is, but it said, sentiment eventually gets replaced with sediment. Basically, it was saying don't live in the past, move forward, be in the present, think about the future, don't do the same thing over and over again. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. It's a type of grounding technique and a type of mindfulness that helps direct the person's focus away from the source of stress. Look at 5 separate objects. Think about each one for a while. Listen for 4 distinct sounds. Think about where they came from. Touch 3 objects. Consider the texture, temperature, and what their uses are. Identify 2 different smells. It could be the smell of your coffee, the soap, laundry detergent, and name 1 thing you can taste. Notice whatever taste is in your mouth, or try tasting a piece of candy. So you're basically inundating your senses and pulling yourself away from the panic attack. You can repeat a mantra, a phrase, something that helps you with focus, providing strength internally. It can help you come out of a panic attack. It's maybe something with reassurance, like this too shall pass. That's what I was saying, interestingly enough. I was saying it will pass. Walking can help you leave a stressful environment. I tried doing that as well, and however, my mind started to wander and go back to what was causing the anxiety. So it kind of worked, but moving around releases hormones called endorphins that relax the body and improve mood. Taking up regular exercise can help reduce anxiety over time, which may lead to a reduction in the number or severity of panic attacks. You can try muscle relaxation techniques, picture a happy place, tell someone if you're having a panic attack. Yes, tell someone. Just anyone, I guess. Let's see. If panic attacks frequently occur in the same environment, such as a workplace or social place, it may be helpful to inform somebody and let them know what kind of support they can offer if it happens again. If an attack happens in public, telling another person can help. They may be able to locate a quiet spot for you and prevent others from crowding in. And learn your triggers. What is it that exactly causes it? By learning to manage or avoid the triggers, people are able to reduce the frequency and intensity of panic attacks. So there's some ideas for you. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, look who's here. Hello, Michael Myers, it's Madame Rootabega, and I never have to... Are you okay?
Yes, oops. Let me change that sentence. Sometimes I have the panic attacks. Ooh.
Okay, that's normal. It's a thing. In today's world, where we've got this horrible thing happening over in the Ukraine, or Ukraine, we're learning all the right ways to say Ukraine again. We're supposed to drop the. Fact checkers warn of old footage being used to, it's being falsely associated with the Ukraine, there I go again, with Ukraine invasion. Multiple videos and images circulating on social media were taken in previous years and not linked with this current invasion. Huh. Interesting. So, yes, I talked to my cousin's daughter in Germany, and we were talking about, how in Germany they're pretty nervous about it. And, they hate Putin's actions, and they don't want to, to escalate and move into Poland and into Germany and etc. So, there was an earthquake in Ojai. I used to live near there a couple years back and used to spend a lot of time there in Ojai. So, yeah, various fact checkers and journalists are reporting the authentic footage and images shared by journalists and local residents documented Russian invasions also identified mislabeled imagery. And it is, let's see, social media users are sharing a video of a 2015 warehouse fire in China and falsely claiming it shows a fiery explosion in Ukraine. How does this happen? Wow. A photograph circulating online of an injured girl is from 2018 and was taken during the Syrian war. Wow. A stock image described as showing a female Ukrainian soldier is circulating on social media, falsely claiming it is Olena Zelenska, the first lady of Ukraine. So just be careful. Just realize that is happening online. And you think, and be careful because you've got friends. People are more confident. It seems in today's world, wrong people are more confident than ever. People that have wrong information have for some reason, this confidence level. And they are able to persuade you or convince you of their misinformation. And therefore, you then spread the misinformation, and it goes on and on and on. Now, I got that from Reuters fact check, that information I just said. But yes, be very wary. People are a little too confident these days with what they see on the internet. And they don't fact check it, they don't verify. And it's easier than ever to take a photo from some other event and put it in. Now, is what is happening in Ukraine horrible? Yes. And there's probably horrific pictures from it. But I guess I point this out to say that there's a lot of that going on just for all news in general. And fact check is what I'm saying. Fact check. YouTube, I said fact check. So don't come at me and say he's spreading false information. Gosh. But thank you, YouTube, for doing that, because hopefully you are getting some of that false information out of our eyes, out of our ears, off your platform. So, to sum up, fact check everybody, even the people that sound really confident. Probably fact check them more than everybody else, because they're probably more wrong and they're trying to make it up with confidence. Hey, here's an interesting quote. Another quote I heard recently. Confidence, you're not born with it. It's not a trait. Confidence is not a trait. It is a habit. So you got to get in the habit of being confident if you are not confident. Just to say that. You should be confident. You can do it, is what I'm saying. I'm a cheerleader here. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we have all kinds of confidence day.
Yeah, thanks for the confidence. Do you know that? You're welcome, Madame Rootabega. Do you have confidence?
Yes.
Do you like to go outside and then go to a restaurant when you go outside and eat inside now because you don't have to wear masks here in California?
Yes.
Do you have a mask that I can borrow and put it on top of my head? Because now all these masks are going to get thrown out and I can use them as hats.
No.
Well, it's just an idea I had. Put the masks over my bald head. It'll make me warmer. What are we going to do with all these masks that are gone? We probably should still be wearing them. But you know, I just am happy that in some way, with the masks going away, that I'm so tired of seeing masks. You know, everybody complains, oh, when you wear a mask, I can't see your smile. I can't see your awful teeth. I can't see your crazy looking mouth. You had great looking eyes, but your mouth is all weird. But the thing that really bothers me is none of that. It is the fact that people throw masks on the ground and litter with them. And that has always bugged me, and I will be glad when that is done and people can go back to littering the ground with Burger King wrappers and empty drinks And Starbucks cups and all that. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Chime in about anything we covered today. 336MM daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM is Mike Matthews. And daily as in what this podcast tries to be. I will try to bring you some podcasts this week. I'm hoping it's not too insane tomorrow. But I do have a lot of stuff to take care of, not only with work, but with my life. As from what I described in the last podcast. So wish me luck and chime in. Tell me what you think. And with more on how to contact me, it's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!